And now it's time for Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. For the next 2 hours, join Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, Corey Sandin, and this week's special expert guest for fishing information, new techniques to catch more fish, and the most current scoop on what's happening in the water. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Yamaha Outboards, official motor sponsor of Let's Talk Hookup. Royal Polaris, the world's finest long-range sports fisher. By Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup, and Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. Get ready for the fastest 2 hours on radio with the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, and Corey Sandin.
Good morning, anglers. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup. I'm Pete Gray with Rock Cod Rick Maxa. We're in the studio with Captain Brandon Hayward from Bight Sportfishing. We're going to be talking about some great fishing here in Southern California on a beautiful Southern California day. You stay tuned. This is Southern California's sport fishing voice. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app and radio network.
Here's John Ireland for Rancho Leonero.
You know, the ranch is unique. It's one of the few places in the world where you can still drive ATVs up the beach. We have fishing from the beach. We have dive trips that we run to Pomo in a number of different spots. Kayaking, of course, has been real big. We were one of the first hotels to introduce kayaking. The ranch is small, you know, it's intimate. It's 34 rooms, so everyone gets to know everyone. The old saying, where everyone knows your name. Well, truly at Rancho Leonero, the employees do know pretty darn near all our guests' names. And what's even more interesting is most of the guests know each other's names. Very personal, very intimate, and a special, special environment. 2 miles of beachfront, a mile on either side of the hotel. Rancho Leonero is really the last of the old-style Baja fishing resorts. 1-800-646-2252. 1-800-646-BAJA. And RanchoLeonero.com. I'll personally guarantee your best fishing experience and vacation at Rancho Leonero.
So what's holding you back? It's a fact. FishDope.com really does help you catch more fish and burn less fuel. FishDope.com is the only fish-finding service with a spotter plane along with a crew of top anglers on the water almost every day that report actual locations and catches. You can get daily catch reports from Point Conception to San Martin Island, 365 days a year. FishDope.com is for everyone, whether you have your own boat, fish on your friend's boat, or a sport boat. FishDope.com has online planning tools, moon phase, tides, hot bite icons, and more. So bottom line is, if you don't have FishDope.com, well, you're probably missing a lot of bites. Membership costs less than $50 of gas, and that's for the entire year. That's right, 1 year. What a bargain. Plus, use the special code to save $20 on a new FishDope.com membership. Check it out today. FishDope.com. Catch more fish, burn less fuel.
We all need to get around, but we all need something different from our vehicles. Your San Diego County Ford dealers have you covered if you're looking for a new truck this month. Plus, it's SUV season, so they have great deals for everyone. Whether it's a new EcoSport that is nimble and fun around town, or the Ford Explorer that is capable of putting a boat in the water and has seating for 7, Ford has you covered. Ford trucks and SUVs aren't just powerful and legendary. They have the latest technology that helps you seamlessly connect your smartphone and ensure you're safe on the road. Features like Pro Trailer Backup Assist on trucks are truly a game changer at the ramp, helping you back up a trailer by simply turning a knob on the dash and doing the hard work for you. So check out all the great deals during SUV season and save some money on the right gear for you. Learn more at buyfordnow.com or visit your San Diego County Ford dealers today. They'll be glad to hook you up.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app and network. Today's going to be a fun day, man.
Yeah, our buddy Brandon Hayward's here. Good morning, Brandon.
Hey, good morning.
Great to have you. What's been going on at Bight Sportfishing?
Can we hit pause here for a couple weeks and just kind of let the never-ending season end?
Right.
Which was nice, kind of catch our breath. Wes has been on vacation a little bit, but we're back at it. James is out here today fishing sea bass. And it's winter. We've kind of picked steady the last couple of years in February. No great big giant hits, but you catch a fish here, a fish there, and you always get that lobster. And it's kind of like everything in fishing, you know. If you wait to see that they're biting and then say, ooh, I want to go, when's the next Saturday trip? It just doesn't really work out, especially in the winter. So we have a lot of groups that have fished with us this is the 10th season I've had the business. So there's a lot of people who come out and they love doing a winter trip or spending the night on the island or whatever they want to do, and they just kind of go for it. And some are rewarded and some don't catch a lot, but it's winter fishing, and if you want to get out on the water and enjoy, like, no boats and a beautiful day, and it's a great time of the year for that.
Sweet.
And we picked a couple swordfish in January and a few sea bass as well, and we haven't had that big wind yet. So, classic winter.
That's cool, man.
Good.
Yeah.
So
That's cool.
for those of our listeners that may not be familiar with what you do at Bight Sportfishing, fill us in.
Yeah, I started in late 2011 with a 17-footer Rema, which wasn't really, I wouldn't call it a true charter boat. And I was actually thinking about on the drive down, like all the different things we've talked about over the last 10 years coming on and doing the show. It started out as like, remember there was like no such thing as local tuna. Mm-hmm. The whole sea bass thing, sure. We'd all fish all night and like be texting each other at 3 o'clock in the morning like that was normal, right? And then 2014 we started getting our local tuna. Now we catch giant bluefin, the wahoo, now swordfish. So over the last 10 years, the business has grown from kind of taking a leap
from one-man charters.
From me taking one person on one small boat, and then in 2013 I got a 23-foot Parker, and then I added another boat, and then I sold the Parker. I got 2 more Parkers, and I bought a 28 Parker, and now I have a Grady White too. So I've just kind of slowly grown, and something that I figured out, in 2014 I ran 250-something trips myself. I didn't have any employees. That's a lot. Like, people throw out numbers, and a lot of people say, like, I have 200 days a year. Like, Wes runs more. Wes is like my right-hand man. Wes runs more than anyone. I know that for a fact. And, like, he didn't even hit 200 trips last year. Right. He hit, like, 190-something. That's, like, a hard number to hit, you know? So
that's trips. That's not necessarily days. It could be a day and a half trip.
I used to run, like, 2 trips in one day, and I used to do some crazy stuff, like, a lot. But this is what it took, because I wanted to build a business, and I wanted to pay my boat off because I had a 6% interest, you know. I had interest on my boat, and so I really went for it. Anyways, my takeaway from that season is that one person in one boat is like a really expensive job with a lot of liability. So I wanted to build like an actual business. So that's what I've done. I have a couple great captains, and I have 3 boats right now. And that's what Bight Sportfishing is.
That's one thing that sets you apart from a lot is you've got multiple guys, and you know, in any type of fishing business with multiple people, you know, they're often just like, oh man, I really want to go when this guy is driving the boat. Literally every guy that drives one of your boat is better than the next. You know, I mean, like they're really, really good. You know, you talked about Wes, like that guy catches those big tunas better than any person I know, period. I mean, you got a really good crew of people. I'm super proud of him and James, and when Reynolds worked for me the one season, he did a great job, you know what I mean? So I get a lot of satisfaction out of the fishing end of things, obviously, but also the non-fishing end of things, and watching the guys come up and do really well and watching things grow. Like, I take a lot of pride in that, and I was kind of naive when I left Western Outdoors and I had the Parker. Like, oh, everything will be fine. Like, I had like $3,700 in the bank when I started. I had nothing, man. You know what I mean? I had like a kid. I had just recently had a kid, and I had like a small mortgage in the condo we lived in. But like, I had just enough like confidence and just enough swagger to think I could pull it off. But if I had really crunched the numbers like the way I look at things now, I would have been like, "There's no way I can do this."
Yeah, I mean, you think about how expensive it is to operate boats. And
totally. I didn't get any.
Fuel,
I don't have any like hard privilege like a lot of people out there. You know what I mean? So it's all on me.
Yeah. No, good for you. And so where do these 3 boats operate out of?
We kind of jump around depending on season. Last year we actually ran out of Ventura Sportfishing tail end of June and all of July. So if that happens, we'll go up there and do that again. But overall,
and what was that for? Sea bass?
Sea bass, yeah. The Channel Islands are just an incredible sea bass fishery and a very user-friendly sea bass fishery, unlike Catalina. Catalina, you have the wrong current direction one day, and you got to make moves, and it gets tricky, you know? But I have a boat that runs out of Fisherman's Landing. It's usually the 28 Parker, but I kind of mix and match depending on right now. I have a boat that's in Oceanside, and we run out of Davies Locker Sport Fishing, and then we do the Ventura thing as well. My goal was to kind of have like one boat in each county and be diversified, because you never know what's going to happen in fishing. I'm not even thinking about 2020. I'm thinking about like what's going to happen theoretically when things change, what's going to happen with this swordfish thing, and like what's going to be the best move 2 years from now, because the calendar is already set for this year, and I think we're going to have that bluefin again, and that's status quo. But I still got a lot of years out in front of me, and you got to kind of keep in mind what's down the road.
Think about what's going to happen.
One of the things that impresses me about your trip so much, and I'll hear it from customers, lots of buds that like fishing with Bight Sport Fishing, is the amount of times that you will cancel and reschedule somebody based on, the condition not being right or the fishing not being right. I mean, you could so easily, go on the trip and, and take the funds, and it would be a financially much better call for you. But I've heard so many time and time again, the guy's like, hey, the fishing's not right, and we're not going to, we're probably not going to catch what we want to do. We're going to move you to another day.
As you know, with like niche fisheries or fishing for anything that revolves around like a certain set of conditions, you don't always know if you're going to catch them when you go out, but you can definitely know, like, we're not going to get them today, right? You go up to spot X, and it's like anchor structure fishing, and there's no current, or it's going the right way, or the water turns brown. Like, you're not going to catch nothing. And that's short term. It's cost money at the end of the season, but long term, like I said before the show, like a lot of things are like a marathon, not a race. So, yeah, if we pride ourselves on that, and if it's not right, I never like push it when it comes to weather or could it be good or whatever. The thing I like so much about the fall is it's either in winter, it's either like perfect weather or garbage. Yeah, it's not like June where you're kind of threading the needle a decent amount. Line. So that's nice this time of year.
Yeah, no kidding. Now, your other project, which is still happening, is the Bight magazine, right?
Yeah, the Bight always wants more of my time than I can give it, and the Bight is exactly what I'd want in a fishing magazine. I kind of made it for like captains and people that love fishing, and they're not so much about the how-to or like where do I go, but like the why we fish and stuff like that. So the cadence of the Bight is awkward in that I was doing 2 a year. I'm leaning really hard to high grading it and making it even nicer, believe it or not, and making like a hardcover on it and doing it like an annual. So the next issue is like really close to done. If I can just finish my last piece, I went to New Caledonia and fished for those Napoleon wrasse.
Really?
Yeah, which was a really cool, an incredible trip. I got a huge GT. I did that. Got smoked by dogtooth. It was like my dream trip. So I've been pretty much like working on that piece for the last couple months and pushing and pulling on it, and I'm just not happy with it, so I'm just not ready to hit go on it.
Sure.
And it's not like it's a monthly or a weekly where it's like you have to finish this and compromise. Like, I don't compromise with that magazine. When it's ready, and it's going to be like the best I can possibly do. I'm done compromising with writing. That's why I left where I was before.
Yeah. Where is New Caledonia?
New Caledonia is about 900 miles east of the Great Barrier Reef.
Wow.
It's a French territory, and it actually has the world's second longest barrier reef behind the Great Barrier Reef.
No kidding. So it's near New Guinea?
No. New Guinea is like north of Australia.
Okay. Yeah.
It's to the east. If you went 900 miles east of doggone it. Where's the Great what?
New Zealand?
No, it's straight up above New Zealand. What's the major city where the Great Barrier Reef trips leave from?
Cairns?
Thank you, Cairns. It's 900 miles east of there. You fly LAX to Auckland, have this gnarly layover, and then go to New Cal, and then you overnight in Noumea, the capital city, and then you drive like 7 miles to the other end of the island.
So super easy to get there.
Oh, yeah, get on the boat, overnight on the boat. But the guy who runs the trips, it's called Power Cat Charters, he's the only one that has the permits to fish that zone. It's pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was kind of my dream trip.
Is that all big popper and stick bait type fishing?
It's the most physical fishing I've ever done.
Really?
Like big spinning gear, big poppers. I brought surface irons and our kind of style of fishing, and it worked well. But at the end of the day, that spinning rod and that big woodchuck, that kind of pop type deal. Yeah, so it was a really cool trip. I caught a wrasse. I was super naive going into that.
Are they hard to catch?
It's probably like
wrasse?
in the like jig and pop world, which is this like crazy subculture of fishing. Sure. It's the ultimate. It's the hardest fish to catch. There's guys that have been trying for 20 years that haven't caught one.
It's like a 300-pounder where the thought is, if you go on a long-range trip, you're going to catch a 300-pounder, and then when you get into it, the reality sets in of like, you're probably never going to get one, but maybe if you go enough times and you get super lucky and everything happens, maybe you might.
Yep, exactly. So that was really cool to do that. It was like a hard, call it bucket list fish, and kind of the last thing I wanted to do in my travels that I hadn't done. So that was it. But I'm still working on the story.
An article that
comes
out.
It's going to be super colorful.
Sometime down the road, we're going to see this.
Yeah, I think like June probably, kind of summer season.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Well, that's cool. It's great to hear that, because that magazine is so amazing.
I'll do it for the rest of my life. Just if you subscribe or you're into it, you just got to realize that it doesn't come out once a month.
Yeah.
And it's
you got to go fishing.
got to go fishing. And currently it's like high tide in the fishing industry, and the best way for me to kind of spend my time is working on the like fishing end of things.
Yeah.
Which could change.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people are. This whole new swordfish thing has brought a new dynamic to Bight sport fishing, right?
Yeah, it has. Somehow we walked away catching 15 swords, 12 for customers and 3 with buddies.
That's just crazy.
Last deal. I caught one on January 1st.
Wow.
I lost a charter, and I was like, let's go to Catalina, and we'll just like stop along the way. We got one first drop. It's crazy.
Pretty awesome.
The swordfish, to me, I was thinking about this yesterday too. It's kind of like sea bass, and if it doesn't work out for people, like, I hate that fish, it's catfishing, all you do is stare at rod tip, dropper loop. There's a lot of misnomers about it. It's incredibly technical. That fish fishes a lot like a sea bass. You need to find structure. You need to pay super attention to a lot of stuff. If you don't know which way your current and your drift is and how your line's going through bait, you're not going to fish it optimally, you know? Tons to learn about it still. And when people ask me my opinion on stuff, I say I don't really have one, because even though we caught a lot and we caught more than anyone else in the landscape, I don't have a hard baseline on that fish at all. You know, we're still learning. I think hopefully in 3 or 4 years we're going like, season 1 we were like clueless, you know?
Yeah, sure.
So, yeah, we just kind of progressed and gave it our all, and I really want to fish that a lot next year. I enjoy fishing for that fish. It's challenging, and it's like all other fishing in reverse.
Yeah.
It's not like your rod bends and you're on. Everything goes slack and you're on.
Yeah, that's so weird.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
So it really ties everything together in all styles of fishing that we do, and I absolutely love it.
And the Bight sport fishing, like you guys are just known for pursuing that trophy fish, you know, the trophy pinnacle inshore fish being a sea bass, that's your game, and the trophy big bluefin, that's your game, and the broadbill swordfish is like the pinnacle on everybody's list, and it just naturally plays into what you guys do. I mean, you're very good at targeting that trophy selective.
Matt Carlton, he was my roommate in college, and he worked on sport boats when he was like a summer job in school as well, and he put it perfectly when I was hanging out with him. He's like, you guys are just really good at like exploiting like niche fisheries, which the word exploit sounds like harsh, but that's exactly what we do. Like, what is like the biggest game fishing that we can do? What is like something that like is very unattainable and people are going to like be willing to throw down to do, and that's what we do.
Yeah.
And it's changed over the last couple of years. Like, I haven't had a lot of kelp locally to work with, and there hasn't been that squid like the first few years. The first few years I had the biz, it was like easy lay down squid nest fishing. That was dream sea bass fishing. Then it all got in the kelp, and I like developed the like bobber float fishing and caught a lot of really big fish. Yeah, exactly. That was the best window to catch a 70-pounder. We had that 82-pounder the one year.
Yeah.
But we don't have kelp now, so we don't have kelp and we don't have squid. So it's more of an island-based sea bass fishery. Yeah. My point is, it's like we've had to like constantly reinvent ourselves. Or like it's like being like Taylor Swift or something, like a female singer, right?
Yeah.
You have to like endlessly reinvent yourself if you want to like stay ahead of the pack. And guess what? It costs like a lot of money to live in Southern California, and you can't just like limp by running 65 trips a year.
Yeah.
I know how much it takes to like run one of these businesses, and outboard engines are so expensive to stay up on. Like, you have to run so much to make it here.
Absolutely.
You can't stop. You literally can't stop.
But think about what you said, Ricky. It's like giant sea bass, giant bluefin, broadbill swordfish. I mean, that's what these guys.
List.
Yeah, the top of the list. And these guys target them.
They get them they get them all the time.
I wish. The swordfish thing is the ultimate. And I never thought I'd see one get caught in California, aside from the one that I saw you guys catch when I was like 20 boat lengths away. But the fact that it's like a legit thing, and there's days you have like 2 or 3 shots, and it's the ultimate.
I mean, how many years previous to this year did our Southern California small boat fleet? How many years did it take to pile up 15 swordfish? For the fleet, for everybody fishing.
I talked to Bob Hoos yesterday, and he's like, or the day before, it doesn't matter. And we're talking about swords, and he's really knowledgeable about billfish, which I know nothing about striped marlin fishing. I've never even caught a local striped marlin. That's not my deal, So I was talking to him about it, and he's like, you have to realize that, I think Ted Nansers, I'm going to butcher his name, I'm sorry, but he dedicated his life to broadbill swordfish for like 20-something seasons from Memorial Day through the fall. That's all he did, and he caught 9.
Wow.
A lifetime of swordfish.
Lifetime.
It was the last year that one boat caught 2 swordfish. I think it was the same guy, and it was 1979. And this year, I mean, I think it would take both hands, maybe even some toes, to count how many people had two in one trip.
Yeah.
I had multiple days we had like 3 bites or got one and lost one. Like we could have had 2, you know. And the story's the same with a lot of the guys down here. Like that fish is, my one takeaway on that fish is this: swordfish is I called it a 50-50-50 fish, right? Half your trips, if you're on it, you're going to get a shot and hook one, right? Okay. Half the fish you hook, half the bites you get, you're actually going to hook. They're hard, very difficult to hook. And then half of the ones that you like hook and you're tight on and everything is going like perfect in your way, you're going to get. Right. So it's tough.
Yeah.
But it might not be the best swordfish fishery in the world when you compare it to like the Florida Keys or something. But the grade that we have here is just blackout. Like our average fish is like the biggest fish they catch for the week in Florida usually.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going for it, and it's a legit play.
Yeah, no, it's cool. So somebody told me a week or 2 ago, said, well, when the giant squid come in, it's all bets are off. That fishery is done because giant squid are going to eat everything you drop down to 1,000 or 500 or 700 or 1,200
That's not grounded in fact because they have a lot of big squid in Florida, not like just true giants like our 40, 50-pound Humboldts.
Yeah.
But they've hedged that. They don't use squid for bait. That's why they use that belly strip. And there's other baits out there that squid won't touch. That's why they use like snakehead bellies and off-the-wall stuff. Swordfish are like a shark, man. You can use all sorts of different baits. Yeah. You don't just have to use big squid for them. So that person's opinion is like decent, but it's like, I mean, there's not enough precedent for anyone to have a hard opinion. And anyone who gives me their hard opinion, I kind of just stop listening to them.
Sure.
Because it's such a new thing.
Yeah. No
it's
doubt.
This is the way it is.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, people love
to make rules for their fishing. We've talked about this before. Like, they have success one time at one spot and one method, and that's their, like, default line forever, and that's just a horrible way to fish.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's even the way that one rigs for them, there's no hard line of this is the right way to do it, because somebody like Brandon will have huge success doing it this way with this combination of lights and sinkers and your hooks and baits this far away from it, and then somebody else also have very good success rigging a completely different way. And like you were saying, over the next 3 or 4 years, if we get lucky enough for this to be a thing, that line will start to sharpen up a whole lot. But it's very blurred right now.
No, that's a good way to put it. I think 2020 will be the year where we kind of go like, get a real baseline, see if last year was just like a special confluence of events like 2010 sea bass or whatever. Definitely going to catch them because the buoy guys have proven that, you know. And on the flip, they're just like threading a squid on a hook and slapping it out and not like teasing them or doing anything, and they catch. So yeah, no, it's going to be really cool to see and find out. And it's just like the fact that you can slide into Avalon, do 2 drops for swordfish, and then go to Clemente and fish for 300-pound tuna. That's what we were fishing for last year. You weren't fishing for 2s anymore. You're fishing for 300-pound fish.
Gee.
It's just incredible that this is or was the landscape that we are in.
Amazing fishery. Well, as you can hear, we have a great show lined up for today. A lot to talk about with Captain Brandon Hayward.
You're not kidding, buddy. Going to be a great time. Lots of great information. If you want to join us, we want to hear from you. Give us a call and let's talk hookup this morning. 833-288-0973. Again, 833-288-0973. Not only are we talking all things Bight, sport fishing, having a great time, we are also giving away a really killer prize to one lucky caller at the end of the show today. That's a full 1-year membership to fishdope.com, $170 value. And you're going to get half-day fishing for 2 on board the Daily Double out of Point Loma Sport Fishing. What a killer prize that is today. Again, if you want to get your shot at that great opportunity, or better yet, your chance to talk to Brandon, 833-288-0973. And when we come back, we're going to be taking your phone calls. Lots of great info coming your way. You stay tuned. You're listening to Southern California's Sport Fishing Voice. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app and network.
Hi there. I'm Hayden from Fast Lane Sailing and Kayaking, Southern California's go-to spot for Hobie fishing kayaks, right on the water in Mission Bay. Let me tell you, we have big things going on in the shop this time of year. This November marks the 40th year anniversary of Fast Lane Sailing and Kayaking. And as a family-owned and operated business, my family and I would like to thank all of our friends and customers for the support over the decades. We also have the brand new 2020 model year Hobie fishing kayaks, introducing new features like the automatically retracting kick-up fins, as well as the revolutionary new Mirage Drive 360, which allows you to rotate and steer your Mirage Drive 360 degrees, giving you 100% control over your fishing kayak. Hobie's also released a new line of more economic options, like the new Mirage Passport 10.5 and 12.0, coming in at only $13.99 and $15.99 respectively, while still including the Hobie Mirage Drive with comfortable raised seats and tons of fishing features. Get down to our shop, Fast Lane Sailing and Kayaking, right on the water in Mission Bay, and see it all for yourself. Or check us out online at FastlaneKayaking.com.
It's Yamaha's Reliable Choice sales event. From January 1st to March 31st, power up with the choice of additional warranty protection or up to $1,500 in dealer credit on eligible select new 2.5 to 350 horsepower 4-strokes. For details, visit YamahaOutboards.com or your Yamaha Outboards dealer today. Yamaha. Reliability starts here.
Offer ends March 31st, 2020. Subject to change. Other restrictions and conditions apply. Select models excluded. See authorized participating Yamaha outboard dealers for details. Cannot be used with any other Yamaha offer.
Sport fishing, not just for Dad anymore. At Dana Wharf Sport Fishing, kids fish free every Sunday. Free half-day fishing trip and clinic free for kids 12 and under every Sunday at Dana Wharf. Join the Dana Wharf Kids Club and get over $100 of really cool stuff like 2 free fishing trips, a free whale watch trip, and more. Dana Wharf, everyone's favorite since 1971. Click DanaWharf.com or visit them in the Dana Point Harbor, the bass capital of the West, and only minutes from the 5 freeway in Orange County. DanaWharf.com, where kids fish free.
It's another innovation from Seaguar, the proven leader in saltwater leader material. Introducing new Gold Label leader. It's Seaguar's thinnest leader material yet, 18% thinner and 17% stronger than any other Seaguar leader. That means it's even less visible underwater and creates more natural presentations for better catch rates in clear water and on leader-shy fish. New Gold Label is made with exclusive Seaguar fluorocarbon resins in a double structure process which provides exceptional knot and tensile strength. Yet it's soft and cinches easily for fail-safe knots. Get Seaguar Gold Label at your favorite tackle dealer or learn more at Seaguar.com.
For local and long-range fishing, the Islander out of Fisherman's Landing is a favorite among seasoned or novice anglers. But Islander Charters is much more than great fishing. They also do incredible Guadalupe white shark diving trips as well as a schedule of kayak mothership trips. You need to check out the Islander on their website, islander-charters.com. The Islander is San Diego's leader when it comes to 2 to 5 day fishing. Watch the website for trips and adventures available. Experience the Islander difference. Visit islander-charters.com for all the details.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time this morning. Phones are already packing up. Looks like we have one line that's still open. If you want it, this is a good time to get through because I can assure you it's going to be a busy morning. 833-288-0973.
Indeed. All right, Rick, let's go ahead and jump on the phone.
Sounds good. Why don't we talk to Carl, who's calling us from Borrego Springs. Carl, thanks for getting us started here on Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. So I have a question about Top Shots. I have 200 yards of 100-pound Spectra that I stuck on the wrong reel, so I have it. Can I Top Shot mono with Spectra, or does it need to be the other way around?
Meaning you've got a bunch, so you've got some mono that's just on the bottom of your reel, and you want to put more Spectra on top of it because you want to end up with a shorter Top Shot?
Well, I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to put 200-pound or 100-pound Spectra just on the reel by itself, but I like the feel of the Spectra. And I don't want to Top Shot it with mono. Can you put mono on the bottom and then Spectra on top?
You definitely can. I mean, if you're in a scenario where line capacity is not necessary for you and you've got a bigger reel, there's nothing physically wrong with putting mono on the bottom and then filling the rest with Spectra. Like if you had a smaller amount of Spectra for whatever reason, you had half a spool and you wanted to fill your reel full of mono and just put that on top, and you were in a scenario where you're going to get rocked well before you ever get spooled, you certainly can do it. The advantage, obviously, of Spectra when it's on the reel is it doesn't go bad. Power Pro is going to last on your reel, for years and years and years and years, and that mono that's underneath is going to deteriorate. So the problem that you run into is if you get into a scenario where all of that line is coming off the reel, whatever scenario exists where you hook a fish where you need to rely on that line as backing, now your backing is, old mono that, the connection's probably not strong, so for strength-wise, you can't rely on it. But just to answer the general question, can you have mono on the bottom and Spectra on top? Sure. No, there's no problem with it.
Yeah. Very good question, Carl. Thanks a lot for the call this morning. Speaking of tackle, somebody comes and Bight Sport Fishing. Are they typically guys that have their own tackle, or do you supply tackle?
That's a good question. What I always tell guys is what's going to make the trip more enjoyable for you. So we provide all tackle. I have all Shimano reels on the boat, Phoenix rods, Shimano rods. We provide everything. But for some people, as you know, the fun part for them is to use their own gear, right? They go to Fred Hall show, they buy a 800L. This is my beach sea bass rod. I want to use this for that. Great. If it's going to add to the experience for you, bring your own gear. Cool. But otherwise, we provide everything. What I just tell guys that food, drink, and a California fishing license.
Okay.
That's what we don't provide. Yeah. But yeah, we provide all the gear, all the tackle.
So, okay, let's take a sea bass rig.
Sure.
That you use. Are you using Spectra Power Pro, or are you using mono? What are you using?
My default, perfect kind of Catalina setup is like a Trinidad or a Torium 16 or 20 with 50 or 65 pound braid on it and a little 4 to 5 foot piece of fluoro, 40 or 50 pound. Yeah. If the guy is new at fishing and he can't cast all that great, I'll probably set him up with 30 pound mono because they can cast it better. But if I'm super snug to the kelp and fishing a spot like Freddy's, I'm going to be we got to fish Spectra here. Yeah. But if we're fishing kelp cutter rig. But if we're fishing little beaches and stuff like that, mono all day. If we're fishing the kelp on the coast and they're 55 to 75 pound sea bass and just absolute monsters, I'm not putting anything in the water less than 80 pound braid.
Wow. Yeah.
Because they're huge fish, and it's like a blend between grouper and cabria fishing and structure yellowtail. You got to it's a whole other breed. There's 6 different styles of sea bass fishing. So it gets back to what I always say, it depends, and it's like the caller who called before. When people come on the boat and they have ideas about tackle or they want to use something, I'm down for anything. I have no rules, but I just say, why do you want to do this? Mm-hmm. What is your thought processing and reasoning behind it? And sometimes that's a real stumper for people. They're just worked before or because, So I have a reason for fishing whatever tackle I'm going to fish and whatever I'm going to do. But if you had a 8-foot kind of medium action rod and a 16 size reel that you can cast, that's what we use on the boat.
Okay, very good.
Yep.
Hey, you want to get through 833-288-0973? Let's jump back in the phones.
You got it, man. How about we talk to John? John's calling us from San Diego this morning. What's up, John? Welcome to the show.
Hi, good morning, guys.
Hi, John.
I wanted to get an idea of what the typical itinerary might be for a swordfish trip out of San Diego, knowing that every day is a little different, but maybe there's a typical pattern.
No, that's
you guys have.
That's a great question. I tell new customers that sometimes we come off wishy-washy because for sea bass, I'm always adjusting the time. If it's a morning thing, we leave early. A lot of times, especially later in the season, if it's an afternoon bite or they can bite best after dark, we'll leave in the afternoon, so we don't set the time right away. Swordfish, that fish loves to bite in the afternoons, and you cook them in the morning and such as well. So what we were doing last year was just a sun up to sundown type of a play. That gives you the most time, What happens is, this is fact, is that when the sun goes down, the DSL, the deep scattering layer, and the bait and all the feed that you're looking for rises up to the surface, so the swordfish come up shallow. That's why in Florida they have a daytime deep drop fishery, and then they have a nighttime fishery where they fish from the surface down to 300 feet. Trying the nighttime thing around here, there's a lot more sharks and blue sharks and bycatch and stuff, so that's to be determined. So if you were going to come out and do a swordfish trip or a swordfish charter, sun up to sundown, 6 to 6 in the fall like that. I made a play at open party trips. It's just not like bluefin where you can do an open party bluefin trip and go out and catch 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, Swords, if you got 2, and I had one trip where I got 2 last year, and then I had a few trips. Crazy. You're looking at 2 swordfish on the deck.
Yeah.
And a few other trips were multiple bites. Swordfish is a charter fish, man. It's a group of people that are buds, and they're all going to celebrate together.
Yeah, 3 guys can all high-five that they caught the fish or they took tag team, whatever.
Yep. In Florida, it's a charter fish, So I look real hard at that Florida model because it's proven. They started offering deep drop trips in 2006 in the Florida Keys. It was the first place in the U.S. to do it. So, yeah, that's a charter fish. So it's you and a bud. But while it's not cheap and nothing in fishing is, now you have an ability to fish that fish in your own backyard. And I had a guy, Jim Olson, he came out with me. He's fished New Zealand. He went to Florida, and he had been one other place where the weather got him. He couldn't fish. He did not catch a swordfish. Came out with us, Hooked one, lost one. This is the story I was going like, oh, man, that was our shot. Hooked another one, got it, 258-pounder, like staring at Catalina Island in his own backyard.
Yeah, it's been all over the world to catch that
all over
fish.
the world. He didn't have to fly, didn't have to get a hotel, didn't have to, improve meals or anything. And that night he's eating his fish at the lobster trap in Avalon. Just like
That's
pretty
rad.
cool. So, there's some people are funny. Like a lot of people will pay money to travel and go somewhere and fish for 3 or 4 days. Prince Edward Island, fill in the blank. But when it comes to fishing at home, they really sit on their purse.
Yeah.
Which is different. Or they think they can do it all in one day.
Yeah.
But if you go to any destination in the world to fish, you go for 3 or 4 days.
Absolutely.
I don't get it. I can't wrap my head around it.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's like the
So
the
it's
basics.
time on the water thing.
It's time on the water. If a guy really wants one, I say, man, come out for 2 days. Like the way it was last year, if you came out for 2 days, you would have got a shot.
Yeah.
Period.
Got a bite anyway.
A bite or hooked one or got hooked 3 and got 1 or whatever's going to happen. Yeah. So to answer your question, sun up to sundown, maximize your time and your expectation and run it like that.
So do you, thanks a lot for the call, John. So do you already have a lot of trips booked that people are like, okay, I want to go with you on this date and stuff like that?
We have over
swordfish.
200 trips in the books.
You already have 200
Not for
trips
swordfish, for everything. For everything.
Well, of course, bluefin, right? I mean, that was your big deal, right?
And bluefin, too. It's funny, bluefin are going the way of the yellowtail now and turning into this, second-class citizen because they're swordfish, right?
Yeah, that's
but
crazy.
The reason we have trips so many is because I've been doing it for 10 years.
Sure.
We have set regulars that are just never going to let go of their July full moon date or fill in the blank, right? And in November, I do first right of refusals. So if you came out with us the year before, you have the first shot to get the same date again. And then anyone who went with Wes or one of the other guys are just I really want to go with you. I tell them if you book in November, 2 months, 6 months, 7 months out or whatever, then I'll get you in the books with me and I'll run the trip if that's important to you. But people don't want to book super far in advance, and so you get a lot of, the bluefin start biting, now I'll go. I have real steadfast opinions on stuff, and, maybe I need to have more of a filter, but I think that people book their trips all the wrong way in California. They look and they see, ooh, they're biting. Now I'm going to go. I can go on a weekend. It's like the fifth card in poker. They want to make sure everything's perfect, and then they want to shove their chips in. The people that have the best success are our top 8 regulars because they book 3 to however many trips a year for whatever they want to fish for, and they just go with it.
It's just
And on the flip, if it sucks, I'll just be fishing sucks. Let's go a different day.
Yeah.
That's how you fish in
And
California.
that's you're going to do
for trophy game fish. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
For everything.
You
It's
just have to set your dates and go.
It's just like the guy's I can never get on the Pacific Queen. Yeah, you can. Call the landing
book it
today
right now.
and book for August. You know you're going to go fishing anyways. You know that's the it boat that everyone wants to go on right now. I don't get it.
Yeah.
And I know everyone's busy and, people's definitions of resources are different, time and money. But if you have a fishing budget, you have a time budget. Do it now.
Yeah, make it
Well,
work.
Or don't complain.
Yeah.
I've been out 3 times and never get them. Well, you're coming out on Saturdays.
With the fleet.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't work.
And you bring up a good point. For example, every year we book our Kingfisher Charters trip in Sitka, Alaska 2 years ahead. Right. Same dates. It's
always killer.
It's always and sometimes it's better than other years. You know, but those are the dates we're going.
This is how
we
it is.
make the commitment. We fish for 3 days, and one day's better than the next, or whatever.
This is how it is everywhere in the world. If you want to go with a top tier flats fly fishing guy or someone in the Keys, or you want to fish for Steelhead in British Columbia or any place where there's a 10-week short week season, those guys, if you call them now to try to get a trip in 2020, they're I can get you in 2022.
Right. Yeah.
That's just how it is. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I would.
It's funny here. It's people wait and they wait too long.
I'm not trying to slander people. It's just the truth.
No,
true. People need to kind of audit why it's not working out for them, and that's why. You can't be last minute about a lot of stuff. Yep. Yeah. Unless you get the roller derby whip in, and the guy's it's biting right now. You have to come now and go the next day, and you can live with the consequences of chasing the bite.
Right.
So those are the 2 kind of ways to do it.
For sure.
I dig. Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. More of your phone calls. We got catch reports, all kinds of great stuff. You stay tuned. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app and network.
Rock Cod Rick here for West Coast Marine and Parker Boats. You see them all over Southern California waters. Parker Boats at the launch ramp, the offshore islands. You wake up in the morning on an overnight trip and there they are. Parker Boats of all size fishing in the same area as the sporties. There's a good reason for it. Fishability and seaworthiness. Of all the boats out there, my boat partner and I chose to get a brand new 25 Parker center console from Kevin Kelly and the gang at West Coast Marine, and I could not be happier. Wow, what a fishing machine. Parker Marine builds a heavy-duty, industrial-strength boat, probably overbuilt. But that's why so many 4- and 6-pack charters choose to operate Parkers. We thank the guys at Pinnacle Sport Fishing, Season Sport Fishing, One-Man Charters, Black and Blue Sport Fishing for their confidence in Parker boats. Take it from me, if you are ready for a new Parker at a fair, upfront, and honest deal, you need to see Kevin Kelly at West Coast Marine, located at 1555 Newport Boulevard in Costa Mesa, or check out their inventory and information at westcoastmarine.com.
It's time to get excited about fishing, and Point Loma Sport Fishing has everything you'll need. They offer half-day and three-quarter-day trips daily, perfect for families and the novice or seasoned fishermen. Point Loma Sport Fishing also offers overnight to multi-day trips, targeting the best of seasonal catches. Visit their website at pointlomasportfishing.com, where you can purchase tickets online and get more information on the trips available, or call 619-223-1627.
Hey, it's time to talk about a place where it's always biting, and that's Point Loma Seafoods, right next to the San Diego landings in Point Loma. There's some big game tomorrow. You know what it is?
You get bit today going down there.
Yeah.
Super Bowl, man. That's the spot for a Super Bowl platter, sushi, sandwich, smoked fish. That is the spot. You want to be a hero of your Super Bowl party, make a Point Loma Seafoods run.
Oh, yeah. Call them up today. Get a tray going, or just go in there and just get a bunch of sushi and a bunch of smoked fish and a bunch of that gourmet shrimp that they have.
So good.
You'll be the hero at your Super Bowl party. There's no doubt about it.
Yesterday, we had a big day of packing for Fred Hall, and Doug came through into the shop with 1.5 pounds of peel and eat Cajun shrimp, and just said, "This is on me, boys. Have at it." You want to talk about killer? Oh, my. I've never even had that from there. They're Cajun peel and eats, and we all just got down. It's so good. Everything from Point Loma Seafoods is on point.
They'll custom make it a tray for you, or you can just go in and get exactly what you want. That's the place to go for your tray for Point Loma, to make it impressive. Go to Point Loma Seafoods, right next to the San Diego landings in Point Loma.
This is Captain Mark Rayer for Genren Sport Fishing. Located on the Sea of Cortez, we will show you a fishing experience that will exceed your expectations. Genren boats are outfitted with all accurate reels, from the smallest Valiant 300 to the beefy ATDs. Simrad electronics, Fraser gyro binoculars, and crews with a passion to fish is just part of what makes us number one. Also, Cabo Yachts Vaquera has a Seakeeper for your comfort. For 2 live webcams, an up-to-date fish report, accommodation packages, check out TeamGenren.com. We pick up at Rancho Leonero and all East Cape locations. So let's go fishing.
A top fleet and superb fishing is what Seaforth Sport Fishing in Mission Bay is all about. With free parking and fully stocked tackle shop, it's no wonder Seaforth Sport Fishing is a favorite among anglers. Come aboard top boats like the Aztec, Cortez, Endeavor, Apollo, Outer Limits, El Gato Dos, Pride, Tribute, Pacific Voyager, and the Voyager. Plus, the new Seaforth Sea Watch in San Diego offer the finest half and full day trips available. Seaforth Sport Fishing. For charters or regular open party schedule, check seaforthlanding.com. Run by fishermen for fishermen in Mission Bay.
This program is paid for by Let's Talk Hookup.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time this morning, talking fishing, talking Bight sport fishing. If you want to join us, busy morning ahead, 833-288-0973.
Indeed, you have a chance to win a 1-year membership, $170 valid at fishdope.com, and half-day fishing for 2 with good old Freddie and the gang at the Daily Double out of Point Loma Sport Fishing. Going to be fun times.
Good half-day fishing in San Diego right now. It's always fun when the rockfish closure happens and the boys don't go rock fishing. All of a sudden you see how good the bass fishing can be when those guys put on it. You know, there's very good sand bass fishing and perching, and those guys are having a good time, man. It's pretty fun watching those guys do the bass thing in the wintertime.
Indeed. Hey, a legendary captain, Captain Billy Miyagawa. Of course, came down from his dad, Billy Sr., and Billy learned well from Dad, and he's going to be at the Escondido Senior Anglers meeting on February 14th.
Oh, wow.
On Valentine's Day, so that's a real treat, because Billy doesn't do a lot of public appearances.
That's great,
So this is a rare opportunity to see one of the greats, Captain Billy, and one of the nicest guys you ever want to meet, for sure. Club meetings are held the second Friday of each month and open to all anglers 50 and above at the Park Avenue Community Center in Escondido. Check senioranglersofescondido.net for more information, and go see Billy on February 14th.
I don't know that there's very few people that are that echelon of a fisherman and captain who also are so humble about things and not beat their chest. And, you'll never hear Billy Miyagawa tell you about how good he is. And, odds are he's the best in the room every time. You know what I mean?
No
That's going to be a great seminar, one not to miss.
That's a good point, for sure. All right, 833-288-0973. Let's jump in the phone.
Sounds good. Let's talk to John. John's calling us from Scripps Ranch this morning. What's up, John?
Hey, good morning, gentlemen.
Hey, John. Morning.
I had a question for all you today and your guests, and that is the bluefin bite that we've been lucky to have in San Diego off the coast over the last year. Are people finding different techniques or producing better results? Like you got people using either outriggers or kites, or anyone using Kona poles or green sticks or anything of that nature?
I think the code has been cracked on the bluefin, and there's not really much left on that thing. We just flying fish are like heroin to that fish, and they just absolutely annihilate it. And once they get above the border, they really get on that flyer. And there's 4 or 5 different styles to the bluefin as well, like the early season foamer fishing where it's all super visual. And so but at the end of the day, the kite flying fish thing has proven the most effective by far. Guys have dabbled in the green stick and tried that, but that fish has got a little bit smarter. It doesn't bite the yummy flyer as good. It still does, especially when there's wind. But it's switched over more to that dead rigged flying fish type of a thing. The problem with the green stick is there's so much business in the water, and not everyone is cognizant of what's going on there. So guys that have tried it have just got kind of chopped up and ran over, unfortunately.
That would be my biggest fear with the green stick is you got to play it out so far behind the boat, and there's just not a ton of respect for the guy trying to do something like that, and there's frankly a lot of people, it's no secret where it is, anymore, and there's just a lot of people running, and it's hard enough with just your single kite and yummy flyer, keeping it away from other people and trying to put that over the top of where a school of fish is and other people trying to get on that same school of fish just seems like a recipe for disaster. Effective, I'm sure, if you got it all.
Totally.
If there were no one else there and you had the green stick dialed in, I'm sure it would be a very effective way to catch them. It's just tough with the crowds and the setup of fishing that we have.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, indeed. Hey, good question. Thanks a lot for the phone call this morning. A question I have is, when you're going for bluefin tuna, and there were several opportunities this year that were just epic. You're going out, you're going to go, oh, we're going to get them today. What's that condition?
I never think that until I get there. Right? Are we talking the big ones or the foaming in the face? Let's just talk about the big ones. Talk about the big ones. That fish goes through like 3 things. When it shoves up, it's foaming on anchovies and doing that. Okay, that's a good sign. You're going to catch them. Yeah. And then it's like breezer shining below the surface thing. And then the last kind of act is they sink out and it's all meter fishing. So if I see any of those 3 types of things, I'm going to have a lot of confidence. My favorite style is when it's that kind of like breezer fishing or shiners right below the surface, and you get out in front of it, get upwind of it, and fly the bait into it, because not everyone's seeing it, and you can really like get on stuff by yourself. The by yourself thing, it's not like I don't want to like share with other people or help other people. It's just California isn't Florida, and it's not a place where there's like multiple facets. Things get crowded really fast. There just isn't enough to support 60 boats on the backside of Clemente. Yeah. And when you're doing it with passengers, it's a lot different than doing it with your friends. So my narrative and my viewpoint's a lot different than a recreational type of a guy. It's not that I don't want to see people succeed or like wave people in. I wish I could tell all my buds, but it's just like when there's 3 breezers up and there's 67 boats, do the math, right?
Right.
So I like it when it's kind of like hidden a little bit, or late season when it's meter mark fishing, drive through the meter mark. Okay, we're like on the edge of it. There's fish under us. Let's slap this thing out. That's how I like to do it. The foamer thing is just too much, and there's too many kids with fast boats that have no respect, and it's just too much.
Yeah.
It's too much. Like I can't handle it.
Yeah. What about that early season bluefin, when that stuff gets up and foaming around and you throw stuff right on top of it and it just doesn't bite? How do you get that to bite?
I think you got to use a more Gucci approach and smaller, fancier lures, and just audit your own approach and realize that you're probably doing something wrong and try different things. I'm apt to fish the kite for everything.
Yeah.
I'm just going to get up in front of that stuff when it's foaming, and whether I use a flying fish or a double trouble sardine or a mackerel or whatever, because they bite it, you can still land them. And I'm not in a position, again, recreational fishing versus charter fishing. We're not in a position where one guy can pull on a fish for 3 hours and the other guys just watch. I need to get everyone in the water, everyone bit really fast. This could be your only opportunity. So if I can do it with the kite and it'll bite the kite fine in May or June, that's my rule that I've come up with, which seems to work okay.
You bring up a really good point on how important. I mean, if getting multiples is important to you, and if it's two buds, go out and hook up a big giant fish. Maybe it's a lot more important to just focus on that one and get it.
Right.
But if getting multiples is important to you, the skill of getting your after the bite happens, getting your kite back in and another bait deployed and back out in a really timely fashion. I mean, it is. The amount of times where you can catch two fish out of the same school is very frequent, but I think a lot of people are just so, it's a Chinese fire drill and you're excited, you're running around, and we worked so hard to hook this one and now we've got them. It's sometimes hard to focus on, well, let's get another one because what if this one goes away, or now we can hook two.
Totally. It's just like fishing sea bass, guys. Like, should we all wind in? Like, no, there's like a school coming through the boat. We're going to hook more. Let's all hook more. As soon as you get bit on the first one, on the kite, I'm immediately thinking, like, we have to get tripled. I feel a massive amount of pressure. I don't feel a lot of pressure in fishing, but at that point, I'm just like, we have to get this in. We have to slap out another one. We have to, like, this could be our only shot. I'm always thinking this could be our only shot. Like, we have to capitalize.
And then is that for just that larger grade of tuna? Is that kind of what your thought is?
Yeah, for those, like, 100-pounders on up.
Yeah. What if you see a school of that, like that 50 to 80-pound stuff? I mean, is it a different philosophy? Are you still going to get the kite out on that?
With fin bait, it seems like the bluefin, once they hit a certain weight, like around 80 pounds, they'll eat that flyer. If they're smaller, they don't really get on it that good. Or they'll just, like, that's why there was a really bizarre window last year where you'd have, like, 12 bites and catch, like, one or two. They just weren't, it was really interesting. It was like a year class of fish that was, like, just getting used to flying fish, and they didn't know, it was kind of curious.
Which is great when you're spending $30 a bait,
I take 3 baits per person.
That's frustrating, man.
A pack of those G-flies. I mean, G-Paul's like one of my good buds, so I do okay on those. But, a pack of bait's $100, and we bring 3 per person. So if there's an open party out of Fisherman's and you take 4 people on the 28 Parker, we're going out with 12 baits at $100 a pack. We have $400 bait budget, plus whatever you spend at the bait receiver,
Sure.
Bluefin, whether you own your own boat or you're going to go on someone else's boat, if you're not okay with just pulling $500 out of your wallet and lighting it on fire, just don't do it.
Just don't do it. Yeah.
If you can't live with the consequences, just don't do it.
There are some amazingly frustrating points to that fishery. I mean, amazingly frustrating. But when it all comes together, the reward is awesome. I mean, it's just the fact that we got to catch those fish at home was worth it. It was worth the $500 investment on every trip.
100%. No, it's incredible. And it's like everything else in fishing. I want to look back at it and be like, I gave it my all and my best, and it takes a lot of sacrifices, and especially on the home front and a lot of stuff. But when it's all over and it all goes to seed, you want to look back at it like I did the best I could.
Yeah, when it all comes together, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it really is.
Where else in the world could you do that?
I'll tell you,
it's incredible.
It starts to really show like what a value it is to get to go on a trip like that. Because I can assure you, from doing it on our boat, like when you start factoring in fuel cost and bait cost and time and prep and all the stuff that goes along with it, it is no more money to go do it with Brandon. I mean, it is no more, and
absolutely.
You're getting to go on a boat that does it every day with a crew that was there the day before, and they knew where to be and how to rig the gear. I mean, there is zero difference in dollars, if not less.
Totally. I've done the math on all this, and if you have your own boat and you're going to go do it and do it right and bring ice and enough flyers and $40 kite hook rigs and your helium and everything, it's $1,000 minimum.
I would say sure.
When you and Neil take the boat out, like that's probably what it is all in.
Yeah, and that's with a guy that works in a tackle store, and we're getting. I mean,
totally.
that's what we're spending at minimum. And I would say sometimes upwards of $1,500 if you're talking appropriate ice and appropriate flyers and a full tank of fuel. All the gear. Helium's $250 to fill our tank now. I mean, it's crazy. A balloon itself is $20.
Wes had a trip. He caught. He had 4 guys out of Fisherman's. He caught 8 bluefin. Those like 100-pounders. Beautiful, beautiful trip. I did the math at the end of the trip, and I lost like $55. It's the only.
What's wrong with that picture?
It's the only fish you can go out, and the more you catch, unless you're commercial fishing, the more you catch, the less you make.
Yeah.
Right. Especially if there's no wind and everyone's a helium balloon.
Start burning balloons.
I mean, I was pumped to lose the money on the trip because there's added value, and you had a beautiful trip, and everyone's happy they're going to come back. But it's just crazy that you can go out. charge top dollar for like the most expensive trip that we offer and like still lose money.
Still lose money. What do you charge for an offshore bluefin tuna trip?
Last year, that open party, we charged $6.95 a person.
Per person. And that's 4 anglers.
4 people, yeah. That was kind of the spot last year. We'll see what happens with fuel and whatever.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, like you say, one balloon rig, if it goes away, which, on Good Fishing it's going to, is a minimum of $50. When you talk about the amount of helium, when the balloon itself, the amount of helium that's in balloon and the bait that was attached to it, I mean, it's
crazy.
A minimum of $50 a bite, and it's probably more than that.
Yeah, for sure.
Crazy.
Amazing. I'll tell you what, 833-288-0973. You want to get through, there's your chance.
Hey, when we come back, we got a full another hour of Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. Plus, we're going to check in with the catch report, find out what's biting up and down the beach. You stay tuned. You're listening to Southern California's Sport Fishing Voice on the Let's Talk Hookup app and network.
All of us at the American Angler family want to express appreciation to our regular passengers that fish with us year after year, and to the new anglers that came out this last season. We realize how precious your vacation time is, and we are truly grateful that you have chosen to spend this time with us. It's important that your experience is memorable, from the moment you call the office to the time you step off the boat. Hi, I'm Lori. Call me at the office, 619-223-5414, or check us out at AmericanAnglerSportFishing.com. Come fishing with the American Angler family and make a memory.
It's long range time at the Ridge and Lower Banks. Time to get your gear. Hi, this is Doug Kern from Fisherman's Landing Tackle, the saltwater tackle professionals. Big fish need big tackle, and that's why we recommend the Shimano Talica for tuna, Trinidad for wahoo, matched with a Terez rod. Choosing the right size Talica, Trinidad, and Terez is the trick, and that's where we come in. With more experience and expertise on long range fishing than anyone, Fisherman's Landing Tackle has the Shimano gear for your trip. Fisherman's Landing Tackle at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego, or on the web at saltwatertackle.com. Fisherman's Landing is the top choice in local and long-range fishing. Our hard-working crew will expand your fishing experience. We offer the finest open party trips, the best charter boats available, and our world-renowned long-range fleet. Fisherman's Landing is now a full-service sport fishing operation offering great half-day and full-day open party trips. Book online at fishermanslanding.com. I'll see you at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego.
When it comes to catching big bluefin tuna in local waters, Shimano has the gear proven to land the big ones. You already know the hot jig is the Shimano Butterfly Flatball Jig, and when you match that with the right tackle system, it makes this great jig even more effective. We suggest you grab a Tranx 500 HG and fill it with 80-pound Power Pro Max Quattro. Max Quattro is 25% thinner, which means 25% more line capacity when you hook that giant. Match your new setup with a Terez 70H, and you have the power to put the wood to that big bluefin tuna. The Tranx 500 HG has the cranking power you need, and with the level wind, you concentrate on fishing your Shimano flatball and leave the line control to the Tranx reel. Hundreds of big fish have been caught on the flatball, and when you add the Power Pro Max Quattro Tranx Terez combo, you'll take your fishing to the next level. See your local dealer or check Shimano.com for all the details.
We all need to get around, but we all need something different from our vehicles. Your San Diego County Ford dealers have you covered if you're looking for a new truck this month. Plus, it's SUV season, so they have great deals for everyone. Whether it's a new EcoSport that is nimble and fun around town, or the Ford Explorer that is capable of putting a boat in the water and has seating for 7, Ford has you covered. Ford trucks and SUVs aren't just powerful and legendary. They have the latest technology that helps you seamlessly connect your smartphone and ensure you're safe on the road. Features like Pro Trailer Backup Assist on trucks are truly a game changer at the ramp, helping you back up a trailer by simply turning a knob on the dash and doing the hard work for you. So check out all the great deals during SUV season and save some money on the right gear for you. Learn more at buyfordnow.com or visit your San Diego County Ford dealers today. They'll be glad to hook you up. Pete here to tell you about our friends Jim and Mary and their incredible crew at Poway Valley Collision. I hear it all the time. Hey, I took my car to Poway Valley Collision, and you were right. Mentioned you guys, and they gave us the VIP treatment, fixed our car, and even gave us a special price. Believe me when I say Poway Valley Collision is worth the drive from anywhere in the Southland. We know you may not need them now, but when accidents happen, it pays to go to Poway Valley Collision. And I'm not fooling. Our listeners can save hundreds of dollars $100 on your car or truck repair. They work with most insurance companies, including Auto Club, MetLife, and Wawanesa, and more. All you do is call Jim, Mary, or any of their team members, and they do all the rest. No hassles, just top-notch work and VIP treatment. I had my car repaired at Poway Valley Collision, and the job was perfect. So get your vehicle fixed right at Poway Valley Collision, 14211 Garden Road in Poway. Check PowayValleyCollision.com.